It was approximately 12:15 when I entered the Johnson County Community Health Clinic. I was there for an appointment I had set up weeks ago, just a routine checkup. It wasn't a new place for me. I had been there a couple of times before. However, the place had an old nostalgic feel to it, as if it were a location from my childhood or something. I could never pinpoint exactly what this feeling was or where it came from. I passed the empty waiting area and approached the man at the front desk. He was sitting in his bluish-gray office chair, looking at a spreadsheet on the same Windows XP desktop they've had since 2008. There was a sign-in sheet on the counter in front of me. "I have an appointment with Dr. Pebbins?" I asked. "What time?" 12:30, I replied. He began typing something into his keyboard. Yes, Gary Johnston." "Mm-hmm." He handed me a clipboard which held a simple fill-out form. I walked back into the waiting area, took a seat, and began filling out the form. I was about halfway done with filling in my information when I slumped back in my chair. I hadn't gotten much sleep the night prior, and I was exhausted. As I slumped back, I noticed something very peculiar. My head never hit the wall. In fact, it felt like it went in. I got up, quite frightened, and looked at the wall. Nothing, not a single hole or dent had been made in the wall by my head. So I reached to touch the wall, and my fingers went through it. I recoiled in shock. What the hell was that? And I reached to touch the wall again, only to find my fingers clipped through once more. Then suddenly I lost my balance, tripped, and fell directly through the wall. I fell face first into some dirty tan carpeting. Upon getting back up, I realized that was a completely different room. Well, not really a room per se, more so a set of rooms, all of which connected by openings. I turned back around and tried to put my hand back through the wall, and it wouldn't go through. I looked back into the room. There were no windows, no doors, nothing on the walls, other than that disgusting wallpaper, of course. It was completely empty. At this point, the only thing going through my mind was fear and the repeating thought of, "I need to leave," on loop in my head. I started running through the rooms, desperately trying to find an exit, but to no avail. There was no exit. I wasn't just going to be left here, right? Eventually someone would notice that I was gone, but nobody did. And in the distance, I heard footsteps, but not those of a humans, at least not a normal human. Alongside the footsteps was a gurgling snarl, like that of an angry animal. I began to run. I ran as fast as I could from whatever the hell was approaching me. I didn't want anything to do with it. I ran for what seemed like forever, but I was always back in the same room I started in. At least it looked like the same room. Not that I could tell them apart. So I sat down, defeated. A feeling of dread filled my body as I started to cry. I was going to die here. I'm still here. I haven't left. I've accepted my fate. In fact, I can actually hear footsteps. I wonder who that is.